Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? I am your planetary defense commander, Star-Lord New Thor 7, and I am very glad to talk to you because in my 6.5 years of doing this, last month, June, was the month that I was the most under attack by angry hackers almost every day, all day. So let us hope that I have more luck in July because hurricane season is fast approaching. On that note, we are getting over to Dada Boo, the wave master from Florida, who's a surfer. And he's reminding us as we head into July, we begin to look for development out of the East Caribbean region. These are T waves that get past the south 50-yard line and rule. Travel under south, pop out west, up 50 long, and begin to breathe. Comienza el mes de julio que normalmente. Okay, I won't try to read it all, but basically it's giving us a idea of climatologically speaking where hurricanes usually grow and go. And so at least until the start of September, I believe, if there is going to be a surprise hurricane coming, then it will be coming from here. And crankywxguy agrees too. And so you got three of us saying if there is any development, it's coming out of that region. And with all the volcanic activity that has been going on, definitely the Gulf is a variable that we need to watch. And so, like I said, hopefully we will all get along and work together this month, but man, I'm prepared for the worst. Okay. And so with a 4.5, my voice just crashed. Maybe I'm going through puberty. West of David, Panama, 1 hour and 8 minutes ago. And so Mexico and South America and areas around there have been seeing a lot of volcanic and earthquake activity over the last few weeks. May 22nd, I don't know, a couple months ago, I put out a volcano West Coast North America alert. Over the next 2 years, we're going to be on a high volcano and earthquake watch. And in that time, we've seen Popocatépetl erupt majorly, massively, almost every day. We had like 3 new volcanoes around in Mexico erupt. And yesterday we got the 6 feet of hail, which is mind-blowing. Having done this for 6.5 years and done it really well and pretty much been the 90% of all I've done with my life for the last 6.5 years is do all this stuff. And that the activity out of Popocatépetl all year has surprised me and went past what I thought it would do. And the 6 feet of hail that they got in Guadalajara was mind-blowing, like a bunch of mythologies mixed with biblicalness. And so these are the reasons I gave up the best job I ever had to do this full time, because I knew right about now we would be entering this zone where the sun was changing, the solar system changing, Earth is changing, and if we as a human race do not adapt to it, which we're totally capable to do, then we're going to have a slow failure collapse. So yeah, we are watching the East Pacific activity is starting to heat up now. We're going to look out for Hawaii. One of these has a chance of going near it, going and possibly hitting Hawaii. We will keep our eye on that. And I know that I've said I think we're going to get hit by 2+ hurricanes this year. I've said I think we're getting hit by one in the middle of September that is going for the northeast coast, and then one that is going to Florida by Tampa Bay in October. And so if anybody else who's out there doing this in the space weather community, love to hear what your guesses are. Although you don't have to. Stephanie Abrams, I just can't get over all these hail videos and pictures. Like I said, I haven't had problems, so hopefully if I'm clear to give everybody good information all July about the wackiness we'll all be going through, then I can string together some great videos for you, because the footage in there is mind-blowing. I highly recommend you Google it or look it up. I know a lot of other people on YouTube and the truth community have covered it. Check it out. It is definitely, it'll change your minds. And so, you're known by many names: empaths, starseeds, indigos, lightworkers. Call yourself what you want to, man. No matter what, how we choose to call ourselves is, our vision is the same: to end suffering, to end war, to see humanity coexist, to rid the world of evil and corruption so we may exist to live, not just to survive in this crappy ass system. And yes, my life has been like a cross between 24, hey Christmas tree, meets the Running Man. In 2019 is a cliffhanger. It is fight, flight, or surf, baby. Dynamite. All right. And so, 2017 before, I predicted we'd get hit by hurricanes. And then in 2018, I did the same thing. And this year, I'm doing the same thing. I said that, man, the rain rates were all about to start getting shattered. And we were going to just see eye-popping totals everywhere. And so those predictions have also come true. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm just doing it to remind you that my information has been consistently super and accurate. And the better I get, the more trouble I run into where it doesn't seem like people want me to pass along this information to Johnny on the street or Jane up on the hill looking for Jack. Jack and Jane went up the hill. No, Jack and Jill. Oh, no. Is Jack two-timing them? Who knows? So, yeah, we beat the previous monthly precipitation record set back in December of 1991. Weather rain record all time. Cranky Weather Guy, King of Weather Twitter. Overall, an active period with a slow return of seasonably warm via downsloping. For the extended details, please read the blog entries. And he does a blog almost every day. He breaks it down. I like to cross-reference sources, but he's definitely a source I always go to if I have any major questions. And so check him out. He's awesome. Although he can be cranky at times. We had a lot of lightning in the Northeast. And I know some people are out in New York enjoying the thunderstorm, either in their apartments or on their roof patios. And that sounds fun. Man, I would love to drink a milkshake on a New York high-rise, not even just a couple stories up, patio in the rainstorm. That would be very breakfast at Tiffany's-esque, but hopefully without the prostitution undertones. Lisa Abramovich, consumer confidence among younger and poorer Americans has deteriorated significantly in recent months, as pointed out and charted by DB's Torsten Slok. And at my Thor News Weather Channel, or not Weather Channel, I'm not Weather Dude, I'm a Planetary Defense Commander. I've covered everything, and usually I stop covering it when the heat gets too hot, and space weather and earth weather has been a place I can mostly communicate my message of unity and working together without having to deal with politics, though that may be changing. And so I'm trying to say, yeah, I'm really good at economics too, but it's got become so weird that it's best not to talk about it much. But what I'm saying is that all the sources that I'm following, and there are a lot of good sources that follow me in the finance community. And yeah, most people are pointing out that there is a whole lot of weakness in the underbelly of the global economy. I mean, the economy is a big deal. It's not just stock markets. And so amassing shit tons of debt, and while you have a ballet of currency deflation, it's put us in an interesting spot. Brexit's been stuck in the mud for like 3 years, which has held up the Italian fiscal debt nexus and the EU. Okay. Ben Knoll, El Nino is definitely weakening, as evidenced by a persistent decline in upper ocean heat content anomalies. Sorry about that. However, important to remember that El Nino isn't just a knob we turn on and off. It takes time to simmer down. Simmer down now and lose influence on global patterns. And I think the El Nino is caused by the magma underneath. And if you watch the videos on the El Nino patterns over the years, there's a good chance you might feel the same. And so we are watching the magma move. That's what we do here at Thor News. So the sun acts weird. Earth weather acts weird. People act weird. And I think we have a little star inside of our planet. I don't know if you knew that. You do now. Da-da-boo again. Here comes hashtag 95EastInvest. Future. Hashtag Cosme. I don't know. Cosmel, I guess. And so that is the one that will come after Barbara. And list of the largest 20 earthquake maps during June 2019. And I always recommend Suspicious Observers has an app that gives you a fair warning on blot echoes and possible earthquakes. And Dutch Sense has been the master of earthquakes for a long time. And so, though we may not agree on a lot of stuff or anything much, who knows? We've had long conversations. I always give people credit for the work they do, and they consistently do great work on earthquakes. So, over the next 2 years, while it's going to get earthquake year and volcano year, it's good to always kind of cross-reference them, especially we were watching the upper north, what is it, northwest? Yeah, like California, even Arizona, Nevada, Montana, Washington, Canada. Well, magma, dude, it can go anywhere. It's like blood. It's like the Earth's blood. Like, you can bleed almost out of every spot of your body except for the bones. Okay, Jeff Beraldi. Pretty amazing. People walk in Guadalajara, Mexico after hailstorm buried vehicles and damaged buildings. Yeah, out of all, in days I can, I pull all the weather videos from the Weather Channel and all the videos from the AccuWeather Channel and then all the videos from the BBC Weather. And then sometimes I go to Weather Nation and then whatever videos I find on Twitter. And so I've been doing that for like 2-3 years now when I can. And this is definitely probably the craziest shit I've seen. I mean, like that. I mean, that's a combination of hail with some of it's water because hail melts. But and so that's interesting. And I think I saw a thing where Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch was connecting cosmic rays and muons to hail accumulation. It sounded like a good theory. I'll have to check that out. Definitely the energy the sun has been putting off is changing things rapidly and has been wild. Because even though we are in a solar minimum, grand solar minimum, asterisk, plus gas giants on the same side, at the end of the day, though, I still think the sun is like a magical phoenix egg. So ultimately, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. It's best to keep our minds open. You don't have to agree. Lisa Abram, I hope I said that well. Traders are paring their Fed rate cuts. Bets a touch in the wake of a trade ceasefire between the U.S. and China. But they're still pricing in close to 325 BP cuts by year end, which is weird because we're at like stock market levels. So for them to be preparing to cut interest rates 3 times when your stock market's as high as it's been and technically kind of hockey sticking up, you don't want your economy to overheat, man. I don't know if you guys know that, but all the 33 fiat currencies in history have exploded at some point. And so this is what I was saying, Dow 30K or Dow 15K, then they got to do quantitative easing, then it's Dow 30K. But I do believe the Dow should sort of mirror the $22 trillion national debt. So it should be around 22, unless we ain't worried about monetary overheating. And yeah, I want everybody to have a happy 4th of July. Heaven help those who attempt to suppress freedom of speech and their fellow Americans so their corporate political gang of choice can gain money and or power. Because we are all Americans, and to support America without using American ways, like freedom, like we all are allowed to have our own opinions about things, whether that offends other people or not. It's freedom of speech, and if you take away a right to believe something different than other people, then we aren't really America anymore, are we? And so, like, I really want everybody to celebrate July. Freedom. We've got a lot of gifts. A lot of men and women died and worked their ass off to get us to where we are today. And we are holding this together. Ooh, look, Flaming Cotton Candy Baked Alaska. Here we go. Joe Bastardi talking about Europe. Classic example of what climate ambulance chasers push on the public. They ignore massive countering cold in the pattern and blame the heat on climate change. And my theory at Thor News for, 4.5 years, 5, which still is totally correct, is that the Earth is like a McDLT. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that. A McDonald's burger where they kept the hot side hot and the cool side cool. So the Earth is like a McDLT lava lamp. Okay? And so we are going to see superheat anomalies in areas. We're going to see super cold anomalies in areas. We're going to see crazy hail. I mean, to this day, I can't figure out the pure electric thermonuclear dynamic relationship between volcano activity and snow and ice and hail. So hopefully we're all working on it together. If you hadn't seen my hurricane prediction video that I did, I highly recommend it. I haven't had a chance to go into it super deeply. And one guy said the chance of a major hurricane hitting anywhere above North Carolina in September is absurd. It's never happened before. But then I want to remind people, the way I finally clicked into that theory was by March's big storm that had never happened before, where a landicane hit Nebraska and totally screwed up tons of shit. So I don't know. A lot of people disagreed with this one, but I want to remind you, like, when I was the first person on the planet, pretty much 7 days ahead of everyone, to tell people that Florence was a threat to the East Coast. I don't know, I got like 40 or 50 down thumbs on that. And those people never come back to say, hey, I apologize. I doubted you and I was wrong. You were right again. And, you know, it would be better for me not to like predict a date and a location for these hurricanes, but I'm doing it because I think there is a good chance, over 50%, that I'm correct. And that the good thing about what I've done with my predictions is that if I'm correct and the hurricane is going to hit the East Coast around the middle of September, that means it will form around August 31st. And so the models will begin to show it in the middle of July. And so we are in the 71 hours of Save Thor news, the fundraiser I do every single month. Like I said, my life is like a weird game show, and summers are always extra sketchy. So I got 3 days to pay rent. I mean, technically they don't kick me out until the Monday, so I got a week, but I'm to not get the late fee. And so every single month we get to this super cliffhanger game, like where through your small contributions, medium-sized contributions, large contributions, I survive and am able to give you super independent, my perspective news. And when I can, super awesome artistic videos that are edited and hope, inspiration. And so if you can afford to support me, especially right before hurricane season, where once hurricane season starts, I pretty much get 3 hours of sleep for 3 straight months. Although this year it might only be 2.5. But so I am one of the very best human beings you can have on the wall, watching and giving you guys proper, honest, solid information about hurricanes. I definitely would like to keep my apartment and not be homeless to see if my prediction is true. And so if you can, snail mail is the safest way in this world where the digital cartel can take away from whoever they please and you can never catch them. Snail mail is always the safest. So now more than ever, I would love a letter and a contribution. And but definitely, I got till Wednesday. So PayPal, the link I'll put in the location, it's paypal.me/Thor News. And if you want to say that, like, I shouldn't ask for donations, then say that too many times and I'll officially run for president, because nobody ever says, hey, dude who's just running for president, you're asking for donations. And what I do is provide you excellent information all the time from my heart with as much honesty as you will get anywhere. And so I've done an amazing job, and it's just a reflection of this economy and narrative capture by the corporate powers that be that I literally have to scratch for nickels every single month. Anyway, I love you guys, and you guys have been fantastic. I'm amazed that I'm still alive. That's a surprise. Asterisk. And so, yeah, I should be worried because I'm still about 550 to go. But you guys usually come through the closer I get. You guys have been amazing, but I would like to say, as your planetary defense commander, I think I've done a great job. There are only three tropical waves in the Atlantic. All are headed for the EPAC. There is at least one over Africa. No tropical development through July 11th and none through July 17th. And so, as I was saying before, right around July 17th, now a little sooner, we will get an idea if the models start to show what I'm talking about. We will get our first clue on the middle of July, or on the 17th. The models here will begin to show it. And so through my work on the gas giants, I believe I may have done a great job. And think about it. If I get the dates and even the time and the locations right, that is, that's pretty impressive in my planet's alignment today. And, okay. Man, I would just love to work all month and not have any problems. That'd be so great. Okay, and so as I've been pointing out for a while, all the research I've done, whenever the main gas giant or all the gas giants are on the same side of the sun, and that includes the big boys, Saturn and Jupiter, we get heavy earthquakes, lots of volcano activity. You can basically track back any major North American earthquake or volcano eruption, and the gas giants are mainly on the same side. And so right now you can, that's it. Okay, let me do that. And so this is one of the, in my years of study, this is a pretty solid theory. And like I said, I called a major uptick volcano and earthquake watch for the Ring of Fire, the Pacific Northwest, and the volcano situation in Mexico has just been insane. And so there's not a lot of balance. These two planets are giant, and they're going to have a conjunction. They're going to cross each other. That'll be around the election of November, which is very interesting. And so we're going to see, like, our whole planet is tilting. And if you look at the solar system, which we'll do later in other videos, but it definitely seems like all the bodies are coming together. And so we're all in this together as planets and stars, because it's a star field. Anyway, what was it talking about? Okay, so we're going to be watching. It usually takes a while for things to heat up. Here is our projection of rain over the next 7 days. And so, river flooding level, sorry. Man, I didn't mind taking a little break from staring at these maps all day. Because when it was at 400 and 300 rivers flooding, it was driving me crazy. So now, but we're still at 146. A lot of damage has been done. But I know that I feel a lot less pressure. But this is still a problem. And even though I put the hurricane locations here and here, my other theory is that I have a feeling Murphy's Law, we're going to get it's best to be prepared for a hurricane near the worst area that it could possibly hit, which would be, and we're going up here and then coming out. And like I said, on that same note, if my hurricane predictions of location and date are correct, giving people a 25-day warning ahead of time will be major. It'll allow people to make good plans. The places that have to evacuate and clear lanes, like they can call off schools. So I think it may have been the best feat I've done at Thor News, which I've done a lot of cool shit. Okay, all right. So this is the Barbara. Now it's reminding me of I Dream of Jeannie. Dun 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 dun. They should remake that movie, except for they can have the male genie. That way, so people don't get offended. Because if, whatevs. So we're watching there. We have a high pressure building over here. Wow. But remember, every hurricane season, and I've been doing really, really good at hurricanes since Matthew. Like all of a sudden, you wake up one morning and it's like the oceans are lit, and especially the Atlantic. There's a point where the Pacific is lit, and then there's a time where the Atlantic is just lit, and you have 3 or 4 possible damaging hurricanes headed your way. So things are calm now. Man, I wouldn't even mind being wrong about the hurricane. Like, if there were no hurricanes this year, I'd be more than happy to be wrong. But it's best to prepare for the worst and pray for the best. We're seeing more possible tornadic activity. Is that by the Dakotas, Colorado, Idaho. I don't know, man. I got blown up in my geography. This is the day, so we're still seeing large expanses of rain. And I want to show you how long have I been talking. I really did miss you guys. Because that's one of the cool things about it is I do love making videos, talking to you guys about interesting information that can be helpful. So right now we are checking that shit out. But this is an interesting situation where, I mean, it's my theory that we're watching like the magma move underneath that's controlling some of the heat. So these waves we're watching are interesting, and these are going to be part of the possible hurricane pass that we might see. Now we're going to take a look at the models on America. And I think now I might wrap this one up. But watch how it's just strange to watch. Not strange, but the way the patterns continuing to repeat and almost form over the mountains. And then move on through. Looks like we got possible low coming in under this model run. You're seeing Florida getting the bulk of the wetness, and that models have been mildly sketchy for a while. Where things are a bit unstable, because the sun is acting mild. Oh, and we have a full solar eclipse coming on tomorrow, the 2nd. Should be visible in, I think, South America and other places. And I have full solar eclipse PTSD because I live in Houston. As you can see on my address, 5430 Birdwood Rd, number 416, Houston, Texas. Because 5 days after we got the full eclipse that I watched with my eyes, I didn't have my glasses on, and played guitar so loud the manager came and told me to turn it down, first time ever. 5 days later we hit by Harvey, and then hurricane season totally kicked off. And so we're definitely going to be watching because it blocks the sunlight, and the earth kind of gets used to a pattern. It's almost like a digestive system that may or may not be a good analogy to use. And so that by disrupting the constant sunlight on the normal process, it usually makes things go extra wonky that models can't pick up. And I mean, it affects the animals. It affects, a lunatic is technically comes from the term luna, which is moon. Yeah, also look out for werewolves and dragons. They're not necessarily bad, so you can handle it. You're Asteroid Fight Club. And look at that giant hurricane-looking thing spinning into England. I know that England over the last few weeks has seen record amounts of rain. And so they're going to see the lows, the wave after wave after wave roll through and into UK. And, the September, what is it? I think, the September hurricane comes from Africa, and then the October one comes from down here near the Bay of Campeche. And so when the Azores high tightens and the wind shear dies down and there's not a lot of dust, things can get dangerous because I'm pretty sure the waters are hot. Because, like I said, all this volcanic activity in Guatemala and Mexico, pretty sure the magma underneath is heating things up. Now we watch this run for Hawaii. Some models have shown it to be a threat. I think the lowest we saw it get there is 950. Yeah, we have a second one coming by. I mean, that looks like a direct hit. It has it barely even a tropical storm or even a depression, but we have known the models can get the intensity off. Intensity is tough to call. And so just having its path go directly to Hawaii means we should definitely keep our eye on it, which we will. I mean, that would put it there around the, 10th. Yeah, so the 9th, about the 9th. So we got 8 days to watch. And it can go either, up, down. So There's no reason to panic, and the Hawaiians are usually pretty good at, if you're going to live on a big island made from a living volcano, I'm pretty sure you got a good sense of Zen, but it doesn't hurt to be prepared. Like I said, I think the lowest it showed it at was 950, which would put it, was that category 3? Category. But it has it heading straight for it. And okay. And so yeah, I missed you guys. I'm almost like, no, I don't want to stop talking to y'all. But like, I'm going to be making videos. And the perfect video does not exist. Okay, so Australia Bank warns of a hit from New Zealand capital. And I have noticed that Trump usually starts out like, we're in a fight. And the next thing you know, he'll be like, okay, we've made up and we're getting along. So hopefully China and America and Russia and everybody can learn to play a lot nicer, and that we can ditch win at all cost attitudes and kill the competition attitudes and realize that we're all going to have to make it through this together. So we don't know what is coming next. These are just clouds, but watch how these clouds super pop up. And my heart is with the people in Mexico. I'm Plancher Defense Commander. I love everyone, and that they've not been as fortunate as America. We're lucky, and a lot of times we take our luckiness for granted, our freedom for granted, and the fact that as bad as we may say our system is, it's still one of the best in the world. And so it's our job and responsibility to keep it better and to keep it from collapsing. And so we have to realize they got a lot of volcano activity happening there. And so there's a lot of volcanic activity happening around the world. Some of the eruption photos from last week have just been astounding. EU regulators stepped in to rescue the world's oldest bank, but what did they tell us? Yeah, so there's a lot of shit that is going on in the bank underbellies, and was it the high return? What is it? I forgot what they call it. Crap. In cancer season, communications can be all pincers and shells. So I apologize to anyone who I insulted or during any moments I have where I feel like a tiger in a corner, caged and wounded. And it's weird, the whole milkshake thing where people throw milkshakes at each other, because I always go back to the Kellis video, like, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. So like throwing milkshakes at people is just kind of weird. Hey, plus all-time heat record set, I think in Florida. And in 1898, gas giants were on the same side. Hey, look, it looks like we're one step closer to a satisfactory sex robot. Oops. Oh, yeah, baby. That's starting to look sexy. I don't know. That was fun to me. Anyway, I love you guys. It's good to be back. Hopefully this works, and hopefully all the audio makes it through. And hopefully everyone's going to have a great week, a wonderful July. We do have multiple planets retrograde. And it affects the frequency and the vibes. Just in the energy. And like I said, the balance. Planetary, angular, orbital momentum. So you got Ceres retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde. How may retrograde? Neptune, where did you go? Neptune's not even on this map. I guess I'm not. We need to widen out. And so, what I was saying, Neptune's retrograde, and then Mercury goes retrograde on the 7th of July. Plus, full solar eclipse, astronomically, astrology, every way wise, it's good to be prepared. Though I got a feeling this eclipse might actually be romantic. So, if you're looking for there's Neptune. If you're looking for a little romance in your life, now would be a good time. Pluto retrograde, Saturn. Crazy times, man. And yeah, it's a big solar system. Oh, and I was watching Jupiter and Saturn last night. I highly recommend, if you can, go look at Jupiter and Saturn. And I can see Saturn or Jupiter's moons. It's so cool that you can see Jupiter's moons with the naked eye. And then look where the sun is that's flashing on them, and you can kind of see that's a lot of weight from our whole mass from our whole solar system that's in one little area. So yeah, it's going to affect everything. We're all leveling up and we're all evolving. So hopefully you guys will save me for July, and hopefully I won't have as many problems as I did in June. So I'm just trying to bring everybody together and get us to a future past oil war and false scarcity to a future of peace, harmony, and abundance. It is possible. I think the 20 years of Grumpy Cat and oh my God, we're all going to die are done for. Like Nas said, whatever it is, we'll survive it, and we'll do it together. So if you can, I would really appreciate a contribution. And it's like that thing where you close your eyes and fall backwards and hope to get caught. So I've given it my all for 6.5 years and sacrificed basically everything I have to get us prepared for these days. And weirdly, I'm as optimistic as I've ever been. You know, not counting pre 9/11. Okay? So love you guys. Stay cool. Let's all work together, and hopefully the truth community can work together as one unit trying to help people during the upcoming hurricane season, and because it's going to be wild. And like I said, whatever problem it is, the solution is working together. And that if you fear all human beings working together, then that means they got to you, because there's no reason we shouldn't work together. And we have so much abundance that we shouldn't have so much people with so much lack. Okay? So love you guys. Can small contributions, medium-sized contributions, big contributions, anything. It's like President, but I bring you cool laughs, smiles, and good information all the time. So hopefully you guys can save me. Stay cool. God bless everyone. May the force be with you always. Let's live long and prosper together. Talk to you soon.